Many people out there have issues within the way that they form their own identity, therefore failing to become who they could be within life, to become who they are actually called to be within life. Have a listen to the importance of why we should be forming our identity before God. Light that does not dim to accommodate darkness. Truth that does not bend. This will give us the most solid foundation for us to form our identities upon.
Good boy, yes sir. Yes sir. Good, Bucky, good boy. Yes sir, Bucky. Good boy, yes sir. Bucky, yes sir, good boy. Bucky, good boy. Bucky.
You become what you bow to. God once revealed himself as I am, and you are not I am. So why are you living like you aren't his? God said, I am who I am. Exodus 3:14. Not influenced, not updated, not rewritten by time, culture, or pressure. I am. Truth that doesn't move. Reality that doesn't bend. Light that doesn't dim to make darkness comfortable. And then God created mankind in his own image. Genesis 1:27. And that's where people get it twisted. That's where they get it most twisted. Because being made in his image does not mean you are him. You are not I am. You are not self-defining. You are not the source of truth. You are not the standard that reality answers to. And yet, look at how you live. You adjust truth to fit comfort. You bend conviction to fit the room. You measure right and wrong by reaction, not by reality. So, if you're honest, you are not living like I am. But you're also not living like you belong to him. You're living like something in between. And that place, it's unstable. Do not be conformed to this world. Romans 12:2. Because if you don't anchor in God, you don't stay neutral. You conform. Not all at once, but quietly, slowly, repeatedly. Every time you stay silent when truth presses on you. Every time you excuse what you know is wrong. Every time you choose comfort over obedience. You are not just making decisions. You are becoming someone. And here's the cost most people refuse to face. If you don't align your identity with God, your identity will be rewritten by everything else. Pressure will define you. Approval will shape you. Fear will train you. And you won't even notice it happening because it feels normal. It feels like just life. But it's not neutral. It's formation. And it's forming you into someone who no longer knows how to stand. The truth will set you free. John 8:32. But what happens when you keep avoiding truth? You don't stay where you are. You become bound. Bound to being liked, bound to staying safe, bound to whatever keeps you from having to take a real stand. And that kind of bondage doesn't look dramatic. It looks like compromise that makes sense. It looks like silence that feels justified. It looks like a life that works on the outside, but it's hollow at the core. Because deep down, you know when you're not aligned. You know when you're shrinking. You know when you're choosing ease over what is right. And every time you ignore that, well, you reinforce it until one day you don't feel conviction the same way anymore. Not because truth changed, but rather because you did. And that is the danger, not rebellion, drift. And drift doesn't announce itself. It just takes you somewhere you never really intended to go. Fear God and keep his commandments. Ecclesiastes 12:13. That is not passive. That right there, that is identity realignment. Because when you actually fear God, you stop fearing everything else. You stop bending so easily. You stop negotiating truth. You stop outsourcing your convictions to whatever is easiest within the moment. But that comes with a cost. It comes with a real cost. Because to become someone who you are called to be, you have to let go of who you've been comfortable being. Your need for approval, your habit of avoiding tension, avoiding conflict, your pattern of silence when it matters most. That version of you cannot survive if you actually choose truth. So you know what? People don't. Not because they don't understand, but rather because they don't want to lose themselves, even if the version of themselves that they're protecting is weak, inconsistent, and constantly shaped by pressure. That's the confrontation. You are not I am. So you have two choices. Be shaped by the one who is, or be shaped by everything that isn't. There is no middle ground. Because one produces clarity, the other produces confusion. One produces strength, the other produces dependency. One produces identity, the other slowly erases it. So stop asking what is acceptable. Stop asking what will keep things smooth. And start asking what aligns with the truth of who God is. Because if he is I am, then truth is not flexible. And if you are made in his image, then your life is not meant to be reactive. It is rather meant to be aligned. That means you don't shift when pressure comes. You don't rewrite truth to stay comfortable. You don't pretend not to see what is clearly wrong. Not because you're strong on your own, but because you are anchored in something that does not move. And that kind of person, well, that kind of person cannot easily be shaped by fear, cannot easily be controlled by approval. You cannot easily be rewritten by the world around you. Not because you are I am, but because you belong to him. So be honest. Where are you conforming? Where are you silent? Where are you choosing comfort, knowing it is costing you something deeper? Because it is costing you. Right now, it's costing you clarity. It's costing you conviction. It's costing you identity. And the longer you ignore it, the harder it becomes to even recognize, until eventually you don't question it anymore. You just live it. And that's the moment most people never recover from. Not because they couldn't, because they got so used to who they became. So right now, decide. Not when it's easier, not when it's safer. Decide now. Because you are becoming something, whether you are intentional or not. And in the end, you will not answer for what was popular. You will not answer for what was convenient. You will answer for who you became. So become someone anchored in truth, not someone rewritten by everything else. Because you are not I am, but rather you were created to reflect Him. And that will either define you or expose you. Temper, here! Come on, up. Star. Isn't that wrong, my boy? Bruce wears the crown. God bless.